goes so fast, all tied up like a captive. I'm on to you. Used to pit in my mind like standing on rainbows, playing it cool. I haven't felt this in ages, and I know my patience. So won't you please stay a bit longer? You're making me stronger, making me stronger. Stay a bit longer. You're making me stronger, making me stronger, Ain't no luck finding real love. Gotta know where to look. Time moves fast, and I've grown up. Yeah, I'm onto you. Used to pit in my mind like standing on rainbows, playing it cool. I haven't felt this in ages, and I know my patience. So won't you please stay a bit longer? You're making me stronger, making me stronger. Stay a bit longer. You're making me stronger, making me What can I do to make you stay a bit longer? You're making me stronger, making me stronger. Stay a bit longer. You're making me stronger, making me stronger. They said to wait for the right time, and I think tonight might just be right. I know you want to do
Pretty excited. And yourself?
No. So like I just finished my studies. So
Yeah.
I'm great.
You just got a nice new job.
Yeah. So I'm busy with that. It's quite hectic actually. I didn't know I was gonna get so busy so quickly, but yeah, it's all good. It's going good. I've got the long weekend to just chill. Other than that, I've got those FIFA qualifiers that are on the way.
So jealous, dude.
Oh, it's crazy busy, dude. It's so tiring. But yeah, they actually didn't have a caster, so the Asian guy is like just some guy I know. Like he's like a mate. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is time again where we RLX 6-mans. I myself, Gabby G's, alongside Altruism. How you doing, Altruism?
I am so glad to be back. It's been a while since I've gotten to see some good old-fashioned South African Rocket League, and I must admit, tonight we've got some great players. There's a couple of guys here that have been to Rage. Guys have won ACGL tournaments, RLX tournaments. We even have the wonderful Lazy, who's actually playing under obnoxiously placed comma, it seems. And he has never lost an RLX 6-mans tournament. So there's a lot of pressure on him tonight.
Oh yeah, there's going to be tons of pressure as we got the two teams where we've got Team 1 is Biltong versus Cornflakes, as well as Arizon and Lazy. Arizon, am I right in pronouncing it that way, Altruism?
Awesome.
Awesome.
On fire.
Awesome, on fire. And then we've got the second team where it's the Droëwors, the Nick, Noble, and Toasty. Altruism, just a quick one on the game mode we're playing here. Is it called Drop Shot? If you can explain to the viewers that haven't actually seen this before.
So we actually got a mixture. I didn't even realize we were doing this. So if you guys are new to this, you know, the 6-mans, we play 2 warm-up matches, just crazy game modes, get the guys, you know, nice and flexible. Tonight, we've started with a mixture of drop shot and rumble. Drop shot, there are no goals. You have to smash holes in the floor by hitting it onto your opponent's side. And rumble, random power-ups. Think Mario Kart, but way cooler, flying through the air, trying to hit a ball into a random hole that you smash to the floor. Who says Rocket League makes sense? But that's why we're here. So far, Biltong managing to go 1 up in this first game, this first warm-up game.
Again, Biltong in the blue as well as Droëwors. Altruism, one that's been very popular and well known in the RLX, or should I say Rocket League community. If you can just explain to us the actual gameplay and how the setup is for the event that will be starting after this warm-up crazy encounter.
So we have taken 6 players chosen by the RLX guys, and we have put them in random teams. These guys have, most of them never played together. They have no idea how each other plays besides what they've seen in maybe some of the random lobbies around. But yes, we've taken them, we've mixed them up, put them into 3-man teams, and we are now going to have a best of 7 with 650 Rand on the line for the winning team.
Obviously, what's going to make it very difficult for these guys is if they have to build up the communication game. So none of these guys, as Altruism has mentioned, have actually played together. So this is going to make it very interesting to actually, I would love to be in one of the camps within the teams to hear how they come across as communicating, because we can see guys like Lazy and Noble are ones that are very, how should I say this, commanding within a team. So I don't know how they're going to actually take about and how they're going to communicate with one another as they're playing together for the first time.
I must admit, when we were getting to chat to the guys in the lobby before we started this, and every single one of them seemed like such a genuine guy, you know, here to have a lot of fun. It's not even about the money or anything, and I think if the guys just remember that, then they're going to have so much fun. People are going to mess up, people are going to miss, but at the end of the day, why do we really play Rocket League?
Again, as Altruism has mentioned, it's not always about the money, but I'm probably sure some of you are asking the question, is there actually money in this, Altruism?
Yes, thanks to a sponsorship by the Link app, we have managed to raise a massive prize pool of 650 Rand for the winning team. They're going to have to split it up themselves. You're probably going to find they're going to do it evenly, but you know, maybe the MVP will go, yeah, that was me, guys. I carried you, and I deserve more. But that's up to them. There is 650 Rand, though, thanks to the Link app. If you guys haven't heard about it, it's this new initiative that means that you guys can get problems in your area fixed easily. Broken water pipes, you know, potholes in your area. using the Link app available on all the Play stores, blah, 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 you can now directly speak to your ward counselors and get the stuff done through the correct channels. The official description is, with the Link app, you can play a crucial role in your community by reporting service delivery issues and safety-related incidents through your local ward and safety channels. Guys, it's amazing, and they've made this tournament possible for us here tonight.
A big shout out to Link app for that. Now, if we could just go across to some of the guys at RLX that are actually hosting this tournament. We've got a few fellas that are working there. One we're very familiar with, and that is DF the Man. RLX, Altruism, I think you've actually had the chance to play with the guy.
I've played with the man. I've shared a beer with the man after Rage last year. Fantastically genuine guy. He and the rest of the RLX team are working tirelessly. Guys, the website is brilliant. I know I'm just punting stuff at this point, but this is what the South African Rocket League scene has gotten to, is these guys have a website where you can go and play tournaments, find out random facts, you know, report on the South African Rocket League scene. It's really worth your support, and they've done a great job. It's DF the Man is the main man behind most of these tournaments and organizing them, but we also have the likes of Cool Guy, and tonight our friend Inquisitor is the man doing all the streaming for us tonight. So all the great camera work you guys are going to see is thanks to him, and that's a big shout out to him. It means so much to us to have guys like that committed to the South African scene.
Exactly what Altruism has said. I myself have been brought into this whole scene not too long ago, but what I've seen is a lot of growth, a lot of potential, and tons of fun. And as these guys are going at it right now, they are 2-2 locked with about 35 seconds to go. Altruism, who do you think is going to take this one? Because it looks pretty close.
That was an amazing bit of play there by the Droëwors side, the orange side, managing to get a massive piece of earth shattered open. And if you look at their side, there's not really any holes or anything like that. So right now, the blue team has to play very, very well to make sure that they don't go down with that big vulnerability there.
A lot of demolition taking place in the middle of the chairs. We've got about 10 seconds to go. Who's going to take this one? I really enjoy this game mode. It's probably the first time I actually witnessed it go down like this. I've only heard guys talk about it, and we're into overtime in our first warm-up match of the evening.
Still a big hole there for the side of Biltong, but they're starting to actually make some good way the other way there. We've seen them opening up a hole there on the left-hand side, and it's going to be interesting to see if they can take advantage of that tiny little hole. Now the ball goes skittering towards the hole, bounces over the top of them. Toasty nearly putting that in using, I don't even know what that was, a plunger?
Yeah, there's some, it looked like a plunger, but whatever it was, it definitely saved the day. And we got the long fist coming over here across the court from V-Nick. Very dangerously bouncing across the big hole there of the Biltong side. This is end-to-end stuff with this warm-up game, and I can't believe we're already into overtime with this one. It's going to definitely be some interesting plays when we get into the serious side of things later on.
It's going to be fantastic. I'm just watching these guys just, you know, casually backflipping off the wall, aerialing halfway through the air, and then pulling out a plunger in the middle of the sky to dunk it into the holes. I mean, this is amazing to watch what these guys are doing with nothing. And now there's basically just no floor left on most of this pitch here, and it has to be just a matter of seconds now. Oh, the ball goes up into the side. Obnoxiously placed Comma/Lazy manages to hold it, and now it's Icicle just above the hole. Manages to get cleared up. Hornflake's doing a good job there.
Oh, the ball's about to fall into the hole. I don't know how it didn't get in. Obviously, the floor is not open just yet on Droëwors' side. Biltong has got a good possession of this. If the ball can just fall down into the hole, and they've won it in this first warm-up. Crazy encounter. What is called a V-drop shot.
Biltong managed to stay alive there when they really shouldn't. Like half their pitch was broken. They needed one ball to go the wrong way. Managed to keep it alive though. So Biltong, definitely a play from behind side here.
Yeah, Arson taking the lead there, or actually, so I say taking second place within his side. But nonetheless, this is all warm-ups. We can see that it looks like Hornflakes. Yeah, all these guys are hovering on some good ping. Noble probably got a good fiber link by the looks of things. But all these guys are going to have a good should I say, connection going into this one. Maybe Lazy with the highest ping, but probably arguably the best player coming into this tournament. Do you agree with me, Altruism?
He certainly has the reputation behind him. He was there at Rage at the VS Gaming Championships at the end of last year. Was part of the winning side, OK Danger Kids at that point, and now XD Danger Kids, or XD, sorry, XD Gaming. Really, really good player. You're going to see some backboard shots. You're going to see this guy air dribbling. I'm putting a lot of pressure on him, but he has it behind him. There's a reason this guy has not lost the 6-mans yet.
Yeah, and if we look at Pornflex, he plays for Fortitude, very good in his twos and threes, has achieved champs rewards as well, and yeah, apparently is currently in form, which is going to bring a lot of heat in this Biltong side.
It's amazing to see the number of guys coming up in the South African ranks. I mean, I remember when I stopped playing, I was Plat 2, and I was one of the top-rated guys in South Africa. Now guys are, you know, chilling around Diamond. So many of them are pushing champ at this point. It's amazing to see the growth in the South African Rocket League community. And, you know, Pornflex is one of those guys that has got the champ player. The other champ player that we have here is Noble. He's one of the most mechanically skilled guys in South Africa. And he's, you know, he really excels in 2v2. It's going to be interesting to see how he comes into the 3v3 random team. And, you know, if he can pull those same team abilities in.
Yeah, I do think alongside Noble, Toasty will definitely free him up quite a bit, because the way Toasty plays is very, very defensive, and that's definitely going to help with the Droëwors side.
Indeed. So here we are, guys, in our second warm-up match here, and warm-up is probably not the best title for it, as we have a snow day match here. We have a puck that needs to go. Normal soccer rules apply, except with a puck that you cannot bounce it, you cannot predict it, it is death incarnate. And then we throw in Rumble on top of that, of course, to make things even more interesting.
The Rumble's always a fun one for the guys out there, just coming into the whole Rocket League scene. Yeah, might come in the first early shot coming in from Toasty. A nice angle worked on the puck, and as Altruism has mentioned, it's very difficult to work the puck because it doesn't have much bounce as what the original soccer ball does. And a nice long shot coming through here and scored. A GG.
Thinek making use of that really nice new Batmobile that's just come out now, and really managing one of the cleanest hits with the boxing glove on a puck that I've ever seen. I mean, the number of times I've hit it on the edge or something like that, and the puck just spins out uncontrollably, and my teammates laugh at me. But enough of my stories. So here we have them going up. Droëwors has managed to take the lead of 1-0.
Yeah, basically what Altruism has said about the Batmobile. Now, a lot of guys don't really know this, but Altruism, if you can just explain to us, having the different vehicles available at your, at your aid, does it really make a difference what you use, or is it more of just a personal preference?
It comes down a lot to personal preference, but it kind of goes into one of two categories. There's the long flat ones, something like the Dominus, something like the Batmobile. Batmobile is one of the most well-known because it's an incredibly flat vehicle, which means that if you're trying to chip the ball up or, get a nice air dribble going from the ground, it's brilliant. Here we see the puck sliding in. Toasty making a nice use of that punching glove to get it in there. Helped by Thinek, actually, to pull it to the side and then just slides it home nice and gently. So that's the flat ones are the Batmobile, the Dominus, stuff like that. Then you have the much faster, nimbler, spinnier cars. That's your Octane, which most of the pros use, but I've seen guys use stuff like the Scarab was one of the best ones I ever saw. The thing's basically a round ball, and these guys are trying to hit it. They're playing pool, not soccer. It's amazing to watch, but those are the two real categories of Rocket League cars.
A lot of the guys I do see use the Batmobile, especially if they're in the lead. Maybe going into the next game, the guys like changing it up if they feel a little bit more confident. Otherwise, they just come to the old conventional, the first vehicle you get in Rocket League. But nonetheless, looks like Biltong has managed to pull one back in this warm-up match. As much as what this is a warm-up match, Altruism has said earlier, it still might be like a psychological, play on who actually wins this for the first game.
I think it's just important to see how the guys use this to, get that communication up there. Make sure that the guys are actually starting to figure out who's going when. And what a nice shot there. Cornflakes getting a nice rotation at the end there. Manages to get the sling to himself with the plunger and then gets himself upside down and slips it and pinches it with that top crossbar, leveling up the series 2-all, Droëwors and Biltong.
Talking about Cornflakes as a team player more so, where we actually have Arson that is actually a good 1v1 and mechanical player. So one would actually kind of see that type of play coming from Arson more than what you would actually see it come from Cornflakes. But nonetheless, that was some fantastic play, working up the angle, getting his own cross in originally, and working up that angle to put it into the back of the net as we speak. There is probably going to be a goal here for Biltong, but the puck gets frozen just above goal, and a great save nonetheless.
Oh, wonderful play that. Oh, no! Noble! With that plunger again. That was fantastic. Actually pulls it down onto himself. Cornflakes trying to get it up and over the top there. Really nice bits. Just plunger it, puts it down onto his bonnet and into the back of the goal. Nice late shot that from Noble. Really enjoyed that.
The way these guys play Rumble, it looks like they do this more often than the normal Rocket League actually rules. But nonetheless, these guys are very good. They're putting in tons of hours. Now, speaking about the amounts of hours and practice these guys put in, Ultrazim, just give us a little bit of a tip of how much hours you used to put back in the day when you were once upon a time the legend of Rocket League in South Africa.
Oh man, I was one of the amateur guys in terms of hours. I was putting in 2, 3, 4 hours a week at that point. The guys I was playing with had managed to put in total in the 1,500, 2,000 hours. We even have No Clip, who I think is about up to about 7,000 hours or something by this point. The guys practice all the time to do this sort of stuff, and it just. You have to rack up those hours. You don't get to do the fancy trick shots without, knowing exactly where the ball's going to be at every second.
We've got about a minute left to go here, and it looks like Droëwors is the side with a 3-2 lead here over Biltong. But like we've seen before in the past with Rocket League Ultrazim, there's no such thing as too little time to score an equalizer. And two guys actually got a slingshot on the puck as we speak.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, 30 seconds left. It's going to be hard for Biltong, but, this is Rumble. You can literally get a frozen ice block into punch, into spikes, into just who knows what to get it into the back of the net in 2 seconds without it touching the floor. So, I'm not ruling out the side of Droëwors just yet.
Just yet, yeah. As you mentioned that it could get frozen and hit at the same time. It's actually happened twice, as you mentioned that. Oh, it's got some good player from Nick. Good strike coming in as well. And I'm going to have to say it, Ultrazim. We might just see the next extra time in the warm-up matches.
What did I say? What did I say? He used spikes, then he got plunged down, and the guy used the grappling hook afterwards. I mean, this is what Rocket League, Rumble, Snow Day is all about, is seeing that completely ludicrous stuff all happening to take us into overtime with 2 seconds left. I mean, why would you ever do Rocket League normally when you could do it like that?
Yeah, I mean, these guys are obviously a little bit nervous going into these tournaments, especially some of the new guys that are new scene. RLX is all overwhelming for them, but nonetheless, they're always here to have a lot of fun. And as we say this, Noble looks like he might have just put in a fantastic strike where Arson didn't do much defensive duties as what he's normally known to do. Nonetheless, Droëwors has won this warm-up match, and we're going to go straight into the actual rounds in the first rounds for what is about to get a little bit more tense. And what I was about to speak to you about, Ultrazim, is these guys are very tense, nervous, doing all this. Some of these guys don't even know this gets streamed. So it's a little overwhelming. They want to do well. So these warm-up matches that RLX organizes, actually, do you think maybe just eases the nerve a little bit?
Oh, it's got to be. I mean, the amount these guys must be laughing because of how ludicrous some of these goals actually are in this. And it's nice that both of the teams managed to pick up a game there. Each of them got some teamwork going, some chemistry flowing
Yes.
at some stage, and just work together. And you know, that's what's will really start it, is you need to give the guys some ability to just gel and laugh and relax and get back into that. You start overthinking things in Rocket League, and that's when you just mess up some of your mechanics that you really just can't afford to. You just need to let it happen with your muscle memory that you've been training, you know, 7,000 hours to be doing.
Yeah, you did mention the amounts of hours these guys put in. It's unreal. It's actually it's quite scary to think of how many hours these guys manage to fit in. I can't think of all the other activities they still get around to. I mean, when I saw these guys at Rage, I was expecting a few overweight, you know, guys that aren't really fit. But these oaks managed to still get into gym, still study the degrees and diplomas they do. So it's not as if they do nothing but just play Rocket League. But the way they play, it's such at a professional level.
Yeah, you know, at the higher levels, it just becomes so competitive. You have to be able to balance stuff. I mean, we've got two guys tonight here, Arson and Thinek. They are incredible players. They came to Rage with us, and it was awesome to see them play and just meet them face to face. But, you know, they've had to actually now retire because the Rocket League at the level these guys are starting to play at is, you know, it will take too much pressure on their lives, and they've pulled out. And I don't blame them. I've done that personally myself, as I just went, you know, I can't compete at 4 hours a week anymore. These guys are doing 6 hours, 10 hours a week to start with, you know, 4 or 5 hours a night some of these guys are putting in. And it's incredible to see the amount of dedication that so many of these players have to the sport.
Yes, and mentioning the professional level, RLX has come out for tonight's match, and they've actually handpicked some of these players, or in fact all these players, to play tonight. I guess it's also just to promote the level at what South African Rocket League's about. I mean, this isn't Mickey Mouse. This is some serious stuff. And as you've mentioned, the amount of hours these guys put in is just, it's phenomenal. It's actually mind-blowing. But nonetheless, they enjoy it. We love watching it. We love casting it. And that is exactly why Ultrasm and myself do that. Is because we still love the sport. Doesn't mean we'll have to give up and retire. We can still come back and do what we do best.
All right, we've gone through all the duties. We've covered everything that we need to. We've introduced these guys. I'm excited for the Rocket League now. We are getting now into the proper best of sevens. We are really knuckling down. These teams have 650 round to play for, and it's going to be quite interesting to see a couple of these players. I'm very glad you brought up Arson earlier and the fact that he's a very good 1v1 player. Because, you know, sometimes when you don't know your team as well as you should, you can't put together those really nice passing players that you put it in the center and you know your friend's going to get it. So sometimes you have to take it a little bit more upon yourself in these sort of contexts. And if Arson has that ability of 1v1 already, he's going to know how to do the dribbles. He's going to know how to do the wall shots that he needs to do. So I'm very, very excited to see how he handles this and if it gives him a little bit of an advantage tonight.
Yeah, I must say the fact that he is a more of a one-on-one player, I think it's going to be actually in his favor coming into this. Nonetheless, these guys have got kickoff. We're on our way in our first match. Ultrasm, I mean, you know these guys a lot more better than I do, but I don't think they all know each other that well. So no, it's gonna be quite interesting to see what they can pull together as a team.
Yeah, guys. Take a snapshot of this game and see how many times they, you know, both commit for the same ball or something like that, and then go to the last game and do the same count. I'm telling you, these guys are going to pick it up so quickly. I mean, we're already seeing a couple of shots coming in from both sides now. Toasty managing to put it back into the corner, using the last of his boost to go in and try challenge there. Pornflakes manages to get out, gets a nice double touch though to get it past Thinek. Noble's now last man back, but now there's some nice rotations. So you see the guys are already picking up their rotations. They're already starting to get back really, really nicely. Now it's going into the center. Noble's got to be there. Pornflakes is up, manages to get the touch, bounces over him, and Pornflakes gets us our first goal in this burst of 7.
Pornflakes with a remarkable wraparound aerial shot. Very difficult, but well timed to work the angle as he was coming in from a very oblique angle to manage to redirect that thing in a totally different direction, putting them off with a bit of a bounce where Noble and Toasty couldn't really get the enough energy, should I say, or boost to get the block in. Nonetheless, it looks like Droëwors has put themselves in a bit of a difficult situation to get back into this one. But Biltong with the early goal, and they've put themselves 1-0 up. And as I say that, Toasty comes in with a crack of a strike, putting his side 1-1 up. And we just look at how the ball gets leveled up from the, should I say, the crossbar. Maybe the first shot could have crept in, but nonetheless, they are there to bounce on the rebound, and it's a 1-1 aside.
It's really nice play there, I must admit. Good pass there from Thinik, I think it was, in the corner. Just managing to get it. Now we see, oh, Toasty trying for the roof shot. The fact that he even went for that and came so close is brilliant. He's got a lot of work to do to get back though, but Phoenix in the back line, managing to pick that up. No one's actually going to challenge him here. That is Lazy, good old changing his name, Lazy. The meme commander, as he likes to be called.
Oh, yes. Well, we saw an earlier strike coming in from Toasty as this second kickoff was made, but nonetheless, the ball has found itself in Biltong's half, where these guys definitely need to work more on the defensive strike. And as I'm talking about that nice little long ranger coming through here, good save there from what looked like it was Noble or Toasty. Toasty now just hanging back on the goal line, doing little goalkeeper duties, which is quite important to talk about the rotational play when we maybe can touch on that at the end of this game. But for now, these guys are making good work of that. And looks like Biltong has got good control of where the ball is being bounced around now in the Droëwors half.
Definitely. The game slowed down a little bit. I think they're starting to just feel each other out now and, know what balls they can and can't go for, which is happening. And we're seeing, the guys have now pretty much leveled up. One apiece. The ball drops down to the center, but Noble just does enough. And poking and prodding from the side of Biltong here, just trying to get into the orange half. And, it's now going to be a pressure game from now on. I think we're going to see less dribbles and, I hope we still see a couple. But these guys are definitely preferring the pressure play until Arson, with the double touch aerial off the back wall, nearly makes it happen.
Yeah, Arson is making some phenomenal plays there. It was a double touch indeed. Very difficult to control those ones, but he's making light work of that. Now it looks like Toasty needs to get the ball upfield, where Lazy denies him that, but a good long ball from the Droëwors side, as they maybe just need to find a good cross in. Again, we've seen it, as Altruism has mentioned, two guys going for the ball at once, but nonetheless, good save here from Lazy, getting the ball out of trouble. Now he is on the ball. Can he get some boost? It lines up well for him. Can he take the shot? Puts it a little bit left. Toasty and Vinik getting in each other's way, but nonetheless, the ball's away from goal. Again, a nice save coming in, just getting the ball out of harm's reach there for the Biltong side to maybe score. Now a good long ball coming in from Vinik. Loses out, but now it bounces across the Biltong side. End-to-end stuff as 1 minute is remaining in this first game.
Oh, now we see Noble and Toasty both going up for that ball. It's just, I think it's getting a little bit tense. This is now neither side really actually. Oh no! Thinik! He's flipping back, coming to try and defend, and he just gets in the way of this clear now. Oh, that was terrible. Out of nowhere, Toasty tries to make the clear, and Thinik puts it back. So, a little bit of a mistake there from the side of Droëwors, but it is a best of 7. Hopefully that they manage to come back and we can take it to overtime. Will Biltong take the first game?
Yeah, the pressure is definitely on as we see domination coming in the middle of the field, as I'm getting a little bit excited here on Biltong's behalf, as that nearly crept in Droëwors' goal. A nice, good long ball coming from Arson. Again, the previous goal scorer. Nice long ball coming in from Droëwors. They need to get the ball into the back of the net to equal this one up. And now good defensive duties coming from both Toasty and Vinik. Again, finding themselves both in the same place at the same time. Now, Vinik with a good wraparound with that dangerously quick Batmobile. Toasty is making the work up halfway. Got about 5 seconds left. Will we see another goal either from Biltong or Droëwors? The ball is in the air. Can they keep it up? They just need a good strike on this. Oh, and it comes down. Biltong takes the first one.
Really close game that. I mean, besides the accidental goal there, those guys were neck and neck the whole way. So it's very interesting to see that the guys were tied up in the warm-up games. Now in this game, there was just an accidental goal that separated them. It's going to be a good night, I think. I think we're in for some really good Rocket League.
To be quite honest, the way the rumble and the drop shot warm-up games have gone, or the puck game, should I say, this one is quite surprisingly low scored line, which actually indicates how well balanced these two teams are. And I like that. I really enjoy that. This was a tight game. There was one accident, one mistake, which took Biltong to score on that mistake. So it shows you the competitiveness in these two sides is just at such a high level. And we don't even have to see that in the 7th game, is what Altruism has mentioned, with 2 guys going to the board once. We're already seeing that now, where these guys are clicking together. And I'm blown away by this already. It's just crazy. These guys are good.
I'm excited for the rest of this, I must admit. These guys have... A lot of them just joined this for fun, and to get to see the guys playing for fun at such a high level just means that, my God, what could these guys do if they really, pushed hard and trained and everything like that all the time together? So I'm excited. The first game has now gone to Biltong, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
and
Biltong it is.
Biltong has taken the first game. Droëwors is going to be pretty close together. I think the one thing that Droëwors is really struggling with is that they're on the defense, they're panicking a little bit. There's 2 guys going for the same ball quite a lot.
Yes.
So, if they could just sort that out, calm down and play together and trust their teammates. Any thoughts from your side?
I think maybe, if I look at the way the Biltong side has played, there's a lot of wraparound, where the guys are rotating really well. And as you've mentioned, maybe the Droëwors side needs to maybe get 2 guys back and 1 guy up, sort of just to first maybe get that quick, easy, lucky goal, should I say, just to maybe get themselves in a more comfortable position instead of having 2 guys attacking at once, or 2 guys going for the ball at once. But nonetheless, that was one mistake which Biltong, made use of. And yeah, that's a very, very, shall I say, a low level of error that both these teams are making. So I think what's going to come down to as the winner is if one of the players make a mistake.
One mistake is all it takes at this point of the game. I promise I didn't mean to rhyme that. Please, my rap career is good enough already, thanks. But the guys are playing really, really nicely, and it's going to be close. Now we see this going into the center. Lazy doesn't manage to clear it out nicely. Toasty gets up. Pornflakes puts it high. That's 2 of them out of it now. Toasty coming in from the corner, obviously managing to steal some boost, and Phoenix now got it. And there's some pressure starting to build from the side of Droëwors. They've had control of this for a good minute or so now.
Yeah, Droëwors is definitely making good use of these early stages in this second game, where they are definitely piling on the pressure for the Biltong side. Biltong just seems like they can't get the ball out of their half. And as I say that, yeah, could be a break on for them, but it looks like one of the Droëwors sides are definitely retrieving well. Now that's what I was talking about, is there was someone back when there was a bit of a counter attack from the Biltong side, and that's the type of gameplay I think I would want to see more from the Biltong side, or from the Droëwors side.
They seem to be getting their mechanical skills. Maybe they've just warmed up now a little bit. And I must admit, a lot of the hits are becoming a lot more powerful and, a lot more calculated. Some really nice clean hits coming out here. So it's going to be nice once these guys get everything gelling nicely. And we'll see a pretty formidable side coming in from both blue and orange tonight.
And as we just saw a lot of pressure coming from the Droëwors side in the beginning of the first half. Now, long aerial ball coming, great save from Toasty. He needed to get around for that one, and he did with a lot of boost. Now the shot comes in from Cornflakes. And, this was just the right place at the right time. Good ball coming in from Lazy. Puts it in the right direction. That's what we talked about earlier, was just these guys, the way they work the angle. And you could see Lazy went away from goal, but he knew that he had to work the corner to cross the ball for Toasty to put that in, and for Pornflakes to put that in. And then that's exactly what he's done. And that puts Biltong's side 1-0 up in this second game.
Really nice play coming out there. Now Pornflakes looking to extend the lead just a little bit more. Arson's back, turning around. Actually misses the shot there, but Phoenix puts it underneath him, loses control of it. So, no harm done. Now the 2 players are working up on the left-hand side together. You can't overlap like that. And now means that Arson, if he can put this back into the center, will open up a good opportunity. Noble getting a really nice clear though across the net. He had to do that, otherwise that could have dropped down very dangerously.
Nick is just trying to get the ball upfield, but he finds himself in no man's land, and the ball put up forward from Arson and hits the crossbar. That puts his side 2-0 in the lead against I think a more rattled Droëwors side. They look like they wanted to overcommit to get their goal, to level things up, and that's just caused for them to have no one at the back, and that's put Biltong 2-0 up in this second encounter, Altruism.
I must admit, if you guys saw there, Arson was the one who scored, and he was the one who we were talking about has that 1v1 skill. He just turns so quickly. As soon as he sees that someone's made a mistake, he's backwards, he's jumped up into the air, and he's on you before you can even recover. So, you can see those 1v1 skills coming out into fruition now, and, it's going to be hard work. Minute 29 is not impossible to get 2 goals, but when you lost the first game and you've now gone there, we put it into the center. Geez. They're coming out now. Toasty, Noble trying to put it across to Toasty rather. Toasty puts it into the corner. Pornflake's trying to get it out. Noble has to go up for this, but does manage to dunk down Arson.
Lazy just doing some backward duty, and it almost creeps in. He did find himself in an awkward position to try and make the save. Nonetheless, it did look like Droëwors were wanting that one to creep in somehow. It looked like the upright, and talking about the upright, Pornflakes gets the lucky bounce of the inside of the upright, and that puts his side the 3-0 up with about 55 seconds to go. But I think I have casted a few games with the Altruism. We've seen about 4 or 5 goals in about 20 seconds.
Yeah, so I'd like to see it coming out. That's this Droëwors side comes together, but again, it came down to there. Both of the defenders turned and tried to make that tackle there. They have to just get that sort of cohesion together. Otherwise, they're not really going to be able to stand up to the side. You're managing to put one back in, though. Like you say, 58 seconds down to 36, 22 seconds down. Do some quick maths. It will be interesting to see if they can get another 2.
I think Droëwors might have put themselves in a momentum position now. Maybe the pressure is on for Biltong, but again, we need to just look at what happened and the lead up to that goal. And it looked like Droëwors had a little bit of a demo in the middle of the park, so that's maybe rattled the Biltong side to have one man down. And as a nice ball comes in from Droëwors, just hitting what looked like the crossbar. We've got about 10 seconds left here. A nice rocketed pass there from the Droëwors side. Unfortunately, not hitting the ball and missing it now. Noble needs to get to the end of this. Again, 3 guys back for Droëwors, just not getting their angles right. And that might just see the end of the second match, where Biltong do go into this 6 man, should I say, with a 2-0 game lead.
It is best of 7. We could still feasibly have 5 games on our hand if, Droëwors manages to pick up a quick 2 or 3, and really get themselves settled. They really need to try to stop this momentum. Momentum, like you were saying earlier, it's such a key component of this game. If you start really flattening your opponents, especially guys who haven't played together for a long time like this, guys get rattled, guys get annoyed. Maybe someone thinks that someone's letting down the team or, not carrying it right, and they try to take extra upon themselves, and then they get themselves out of position or something like that. Things like that. It happens so much in these games that, I really hope Droëwors can just rally together now and try and get a couple of nice goals in and really turn that tide.
It's always in these tough scenarios where the true captaincy will step out. Nonetheless, Droëwors are in a little bit of trouble, but there's still plenty to go. So if you've just joined us, welcome. It's been crazy. The warm-up's been crazy enough. Biltong has taken this one 2-0 up. If you feel like you want to be more involved, get in touch with the RLX website, as well as subscribe to this channel. There's a lot of action for you guys, a lot of South Africans that want to get more involved with Rocket League. Altruism, one of the past legends, if I could say that, is alongside with me here in this casting booth. And we are off for the 3rd game. for this 6-man's event, best out of 7, and a nice long ball coming in here from the Nick with a cleanup. Maybe Droëwors needs to get the first early goal, Ultrism.
It would be really nice for them. I think they could really use it, and they're going on the defensive now, but you know, that was after a good attack there. Noble now pushing it up. Toast is pushed out quite far. Pornflakes manages to bounce back into the center. Arson's up, and a great save there by Thinek. Just make sure that it passes off. Lazy, what is his name even this time? No.
Yeah, I think it would have been good to just keep the name Lazy. Nonetheless, he has taken his team into a 1-0 lead here for this third encounter between the two teams. Good angle to strike there. Unfortunately, Noble not making a good effort, or he actually made a great effort at keeping the save, but it did bounce off the corner of the goal and went, unfortunately, towards goal in what I think would have been a great save if he had kept that out. Nonetheless, Droëwors need to score next.
It would be good for them. Now Noble pushed it across. Thinek nearly making that happen. Really nice opportunity from them. You can see that they're definitely not down and out. They're here to play. Droëwors now just trying to make a good defensive. Toasty's got up on the wall. He has managed to get it over one of the defenders, and Noble now pushing up to help him alongside. Has no boost. Has managed to pick some up there though. So Thinek now taking on Arson, coming out the victor. Pornflakes, but Thinek has no boost, so he can't make a good pass. Does pretty well to Noble in the center. Now it's going to be up to Toasty. Doesn't manage to finish it off there. Really good play from the side of Droëwors, just not managing to get those final few steps in the goals.
Yeah, exactly what Ultrism has mentioned. The Droëwors side is working well for the phase 1 and 2 of the field. Just in the third and final play, to actually put the ball in the back of the goal is just seems like a bit of a struggle. Now, good strike coming in here from Lazy. Just couldn't get the angle right, and it does manage its way into the back of the Pornflakes, where the ball did make a few bounces after hitting the crossbar. Very difficult for both Toasty and what looked like Thinek to make the save with no boost. That is always difficult. Nonetheless, Biltong are 2-0 up in this third game.
2-0 and 2 games. That's the big problem, is, you know, these guys from Droëwors, they need to start finishing because they've got the skills. They're just so close and not managing to get there. So, you know, if they can manage to shut down these couple of goals. Noble now does a horrible, feels bad backflip in front of his own goals. He must have been very, very disappointed with himself there. Lazy doing a nice job of passing it onto the back wall himself and then following it up with his crazy clown car. But,
yeah,
you know, good play to him. But Noble just with the backflip, letting himself down there a little bit.
Very well played from a one of the great players. Nonetheless, a good comeback strike out from Noble. You know, the ball was just bouncing around, lying loose in the park. Both Toasty doing a good job on Arson to make sure that the ball doesn't go towards their goal again. Straight off the kickoff, one of the very important parts of the game is the kickoff. Having one guy chase the ball, and as I say that again, looks like the Nick is making good use of that. 2 aerial strikes coming in from both sides here. Noble finds himself in a bit of a dangerous position where the Nick does defend. Noble places the ball upfield. Now you can actually see that again, the Droëwors side, all 3 of them committing towards that ball as it was played upfield.
Thinek managing to make a last-second save there, and just it's got to come down to a little bit of pressure from these guys. They are 2 games down. Cornflakes now trying to make a attacking effort here with Arson. Backflips there, leaves it back and makes 2 of the Droëwors players commit. Sorry, Lazy.
You're good.
I was going to call him Lucky for a second, and I think he deserved it for those names, to be fair.
Yeah,
so,
I think if we're going to just clear this one up after the game, for now, we'll just stick to Lazy. Both myself, Ultrism, and myself will have a little word with the players maybe after this, just to keep the name a little bit more friendly-like for us casters as well as the viewers. We'll have to see what the DF, one of the RLX managers, have to say about this. Nonetheless, we got a good game on our hands. Let's not take it off the topic just yet. Both Toasty again and Noble attacking the same ball. It's a little bit more frustrating watching it from our view. Good strike coming in from what looked like Cornflakes. And now Lazy just trying to get into this equation here. Gets taken out well from Vinik. Again, with this Batmobile doing some dangerous Batman work in taking the guys out. Now, good long aerial ball coming from what looked like was Vinik hitting the crossbar, and no one there to get to the end of that. Frustrating stuff for Droëwors.
Noble tried so hard to follow that up, but he just couldn't find the angle underneath that crossbar. He was too close to the wall. And just, you know, that's what I mean, is these guys, they deserve so much better. They shouldn't be 2 games down facing their third now. You know, they've got all the shots they can, and they're just not finishing them. We finally get one. Toasty there manages to cover up. I think it was Thinek just not managing to read this perfectly here. Could have taken the shot himself, but Toasty is there to catch the pass. 37 seconds, 1 goal can happen. Droëwors needs to build the momentum and not go 3 games down. Otherwise, they leave themselves no room for error going into the rest of this tournament.
That is very true, coming from a wise, legendary Rocket League player. Altruism, you know these type of situations. You don't want to be in it, as we talk about how they should bounce back. And Noble doesn't have no chill or any disgrace in maybe just making a mess up from what looked like Toasty's long through ball. Noble in the right place at the right time. They shouldn't sit down. They should go out there and score another one straight away.
Really nice goal that from them, just working together. Probably the best example of teamwork that they've had so far. All nice. Their Cornflakes trying for the redirect. Manages to get it to roll up. Now it's just falling down gently, and it seems like Arson is the one to follow it up. Noble just, you know, it's just settling now into the normal defensive. Noble could have a breakaway here. He needs to get it off the ground soon, though. Tries for the flick, bounces it off the side. Arson pushes it to the side. They're not really going to try for this overtime goal, are they? There, Lazy pops it up. They're following it up, and it drops down just before. Oh, Lazy trying there.
This is some end-to-end stuff, yeah, as I'm actually getting off my chair. Nonetheless, Noble, now it looks like Vinik is just trying to get a touch on that. And Lazy clears the ball out. What could have been quite an embarrassing moment, as the overtime goal could have been scored within 10 seconds against Biltong. But now, a good aerial ball coming in. Good angle. Can Vinik get to the end of that? Well defended from Cornflakes. Nonetheless, now it looks like Noble wants to get onto the end of this. How long do you think we'll be going into this overtime?
Oh, if Droëwors has this, if they just keep up this pressure and keep boost-starving the side of Biltong. But no, Biltong manages to get the clear outs. They were under a lot of pressure for a while. Now it just creeps around the outside edge there of the Droëwors goal. Noble coming in for the shot, gets it up there. Lazy gets it wrong. Lazy had it and he tried to be clever, and instead he just lets it go right over his clown afro. And then Droëwors manages to pick up a game though. Hey, 2 games down, and they've pulled one back. This could be the beginning of the comeback. I'm excited for this.
I am excited as well, Altruism. Now, I think if we can sum this one up, I'm going to say, and be the guy that's going to say it and say, it is justice for Lazy's name, for that troll that he tried to bring across for that game. I'm going to say it. It is a little bit justice for the young guy. Maybe he shouldn't have that name if he's going to pull off a move like that in the final seconds of, you know, the overtime. For Droëwors to get themselves back into this is exactly what we were talking about. They needed to win that, and they've done so. So it's definitely game on.
I'm loving the fact that Droëwors is starting to get those rotations right. They're starting to get just a little bit more fluidity in their movements. I mean, they had guys constantly putting the ball back in towards the Biltong side. And, you know, when you get 30 seconds of taking shots at your goals, you can rack up the saves quite quickly. Biltong managing to just clear it off to the side. But if you look at the Droëwors number of shots, there 12 shots in that game, just shows you get that pressure, you get that momentum going your way, and you can pull it back from even a devastating. They were 3-0 down, if I'm not mistaken.
They were 3-0 down.
So that's quite a comeback.
Now that is a fantastic comeback. Now that is the level of Rocket League we were waiting for from the Droëwors side, Nonetheless, Biltong were still in good command of that game, but we mentioned there was like about a minute or so to go when those 3 goals did come in from the Droëwors side. Plenty of action still to come, as Biltong has taken this one in a 2-1 lead, but Droëwors definitely got the momentum on their side.
It's good to see the momentum shift a little bit there, and I must admit, guys, if you are just tuning in, this is halfway through our RLX 6-man tournament. Yeah, we have Biltong, we have Droëwors, as always. We have all the guys on your screen busy playing now. Biltong has managed to take it up so far, 2-1 versus Droëwors, but we have seen a little bit of Droëwors now getting together, playing well together to, you know, just work themselves up from that previous, you know, deficit, if I can say that, to try come back and level out that game. And they will definitely be looking to level out the series here, as it is a best of 7.
I think that the Rocket League side, Droëwors, in between these two teams, did hit a bit of a pothole, if I could put it that, in the beginning stages, where you always do find yourself under a lot of pressure when you do lose the first game. Nonetheless, they've managed to win the third game, and yeah, it does look like Lazy has changed his name to Circumference, which is probably a bit more respectable, so I'll give him credit for that. Nonetheless, that's all cleared up. These guys have got kickoff in this 4th game. I don't know about this one, but I definitely do think that Droëwors is going to take this one because of the momentum swing, if they don't have any overcommitment of the ball, which they've had the problem in the first 2 games.
Cornflakes making a good attempt there, but really nicely defended. Now, popping into the center, Arsenal's up for it. Doesn't need to do too much, though, and just pulls out at the last second. Cornflakes and Arsenal working together, and now pushes it to the side. The next Circumference is there. In his nice Scarab. I like that one, the Queen of Hearts. Scarab, but you know, he's playing really well tonight. He made that one mistake at the back there, but you know, he's been the standard good solid Lazy that we've always seen, and you know, no spectacular shots by him just yet, you know, redirects off the roof or something like that, which, you know, I'm holding him to that. He's got the skills, I know he does, so you know, I'll be very disappointed if he doesn't show some of those here tonight.
Yeah, Lazy is definitely the subject of the conversation when it comes to the better players out there. Nonetheless, it does look like Droëwors has put the ball in a very dangerous position here for Biltong, but it does look like Arsenal has got a good clean-up player, very composed. This is what I'm talking about. Gets the boost, maybe can put in a good cross. Doesn't work the angle just too well, but the ball does manage to bounce in front of goal dangerously, where Toasty manages to clear the ball out. Arsenal now with a good ball towards maybe a, you know, his own goal, if I can say it that way. But nonetheless, it looks like Lazy is gonna get onto the end of that. He's got some backtracking to do. He has a shot, does come in. A good save from Toasty's dangerous shot from Cornflakes. Nonetheless, these guys are, yeah, and they mean business, because there is a prize for them at the end of this. Nonetheless, Droëwors has got a bit of work to do. Maybe they can work the goal here. Oh, open goal for Toasty, and he scores.
Nicely played there. Really good play by Toasty at the end there, just waiting for the cross. Shout out to my boy Llama, managing to push that into the center there. That prize you're talking about, the 650 Rand, is sponsored by Link, of course. With the Link app, you guys can play a crucial role in your community by reporting service delivery issues and safety related issues through your local ward and safety channels, getting you the support that you really need. So, you know, no one wants to live with service delivery issues. So, you know, they've been very generous to sponsor that tonight. And they make tournaments like this possible. Droëwors, though, you know, they were 2 games down. Now they've managed to pick up 1 game, and they've getting the lead here. This really could be them turning around the momentum in this game.
I am very pleased to agree with Ultrism on that one, as it's always nice to see these games go right to the end. And now a good long shot coming in there from Circumference, if I could say it that way. Good save, though, in the end from Toasty, as he's on his defensive duties now. Arsenal with a long ranger. Double save from both the shoutouts and Vinik. Again, Pornflakes in a very dangerous position for Droëwors' side, where he is very good at putting on those little boosters and putting the ball in a very dangerous position for his side to maybe bounce on and get the goal back, which they are desperately in need of, as we've got about 1 minute and 35 seconds to go.
Nice save there by Toasty, just managing to get up and do enough of it. They don't need to score anymore. They've got their 1 goal. Noble now pushing up. Shout out to my boy Llama. Noble, as we've been knowing him for the rest of tonight. Does put it across the goals there. Thinek pushes it to the side softly, which allows Lazy to make a pretty good clearance, actually, and could mean the turn of the tide here in the last minute of the game.
Ooh, nice demo coming in. The ball is in a dangerous position, but now it looks like Shoutout is about to score this. Oh, comes off the crossbar after the deflection. If they had put that in, maybe they would have felt a little bit more comfortable, is what I was trying to get to before. But now it looks like both Toasty and Arson do hit the ball at the same time, putting themselves in a very paused position now with about 40 seconds plus to go. Lazy is trying to make the best of it. Pornflakes maybe working the angle towards goals. And Droëwors are in a bit of trouble as the ball is in their half. Maybe they need to do a little bit of clearance work as we've got about 30 seconds to go. Can they see this one out?
Lazy there at the end. Had a chance, but he missed his shot, unfortunately. And now he's trying to make some desperate efforts at the end. Tries to put it up. Phoenix gone up. Pornflakes as well. Both of them have missed the second touch. Austin now puts it towards the center. Toasty manages to push it out. Lazy's here to take a shot. Puts it very, very high. Pornflakes is going to have to try and chase it. Gets pushed out. Now Noble's up to try and get rid of it. Pornflake pushed it towards his own net. That's not the way to go. Thinek pushed it up, maybe trying to put a little bit of salt in the wounds here. Hopefully it doesn't backfire. And Toasty gets a great shot in and gets rewarded for it. A little bit of help at the end there. I think it was Awesome or Pornflakes, one of the two. Manages to help it on its way there. Pornflakes doing the last little bit of touch. And Droëwors manages to level the series.
To be honest, the way the Droëwors side started, I actually didn't think we were going to get to a 2-2, head-to-head scenario going into the 5th game. Nonetheless, great Rocket League play from both sides, as only 2 goals were scored in that game. But the last one coming literally in what I could say was extra time of the normal time. The buzzer did go. There was no time left, and they did score another one. Maybe Pornflakes wasn't there in time, and I think maybe shout out to my boy Liam these guys have definitely got their names sorted out. But yeah, Toasty, 2 goals, but assists both coming in from Lazy and Thinek. It's good to see how the boys are now coming together more as a team than individual players.
No, it really is. The guys are working way better together. I mean, you can see the scores are pretty much level for the side of Biltong there. Just Toasty managing to get a couple more points there just for his goals. And of course, the Savior medal coming out there for Noble. He was great at the back there. Just, clearing up, staying back, and getting some really good clears. That's something that a lot of people underestimate, is just, it takes one good shot out of your half to really just alleviate any of that pressure that's been building up. And that's why boost starving is sometimes so dangerous. If you are the one being boost starved, just because you don't have that extra, 20 boost to just push you through the ball and get it to the other side of the field. So really good play by both of them to just, deal with that pressure pretty quickly before it builds up.
Yeah, I myself am a little bit more of a defensive player when it comes to the Rocket League scene, but I do like to have myself lots of boost when I do make an attempt at the ball or a shot at goal. And I do think the Droëwors side make good control of that. They were a little bit more unlucky in the first 2 games. Things didn't really bounce their way or go their way. But now that they are a bit more on the defensive side, they can attack really well. And they're not overcommitting as we saw in the first 2 games. Nonetheless, both sides are 2 apiece. Ultras, which one of the 2 teams do you think might just take this?
Oh, geez, there, Droëwors was about to make me very worried for a second, because they were actually the guys who I was going to push for. The Biltong side won in the first 2 games because they just had more skills. They were playing really, really well. I haven't seen a lot of the typical Lazy, incredible backboard shots or anything coming out, and you know, if he doesn't start pulling those out soon, I think that this, you know, nicely congealed side of Droëwors now, they've taken their time, they've dried out, they've matured, and you know, they seem to be ready to take this game all the way, having pulled it back from not just 2 games down, but also 3-0 in that second game. So, you know, great team play, and here we see it coming out there. Noble finishing off a great pass from Phoenix.
Shout out to my boy. What a good goal that was indeed. Coming a great early encounter here before reaching 1 minute in this first bit of this, like should I say, half of the game, where they do find themselves 1-0 in the lead. Now maybe I feel that Biltong do need this little bit of pressure on them to get this one back. That is a good shot coming there from Arson, but Toasty denies it with an unbelievable acrobatic save. Nonetheless, shout out with the ball in the middle of the park. Maybe putting the ball towards his own goal isn't always the best thing to do, but nonetheless, the pass does make its way to a teammate. Toasty now dragging the ball out wide again, delivers it into a delicious high ball, takes the shot on, double save coming in from Cornflakes and Lazy. Now Arson with a cleanup. Maybe Cornflakes need to push the ball upfield, doesn't do so. The goals are open, and it's a goal from Shoutout. It's his second goal of this game. Fantastic play, singular play again, doesn't need his teammates to put this one in, works the angle, and nothing that the Biltong side can do to keep that one out, putting Droëwors 2-0 lead into this encounter.
They're really starting to look good as a team and just starting to work really, really nicely, building pressure, you know, just moving around the pitch. It's getting really nice to see it now, and we saw Lazy there actually going for a really nice redirect, but just getting it slightly wrong. Also, I'm seeing a lot more confidence coming out from the side of Droëwors. You know, they're not scared to go for those air dribbles. They're not scared to go for the roof shots or the redirects. There we see Phoenix trying to make a redirect go there. Lazy trying to push it down to the other side of the field. Toasty just hanging back a little bit. A nice defense there. Good patience. Means he denies Lazy any sort of pass into the center. And as last man back, what else do you want from the guy?
Patience is something that Altruism has mentioned, and it's exactly what the defense of the Droëwors side have at the moment, where one guy is making good play up front. It's no need for them all to overcommit as Toasty puts the ball upfield, and you can just see as Vinik was making his way back into a defensive role and now puts the ball up into a great pass here for a nice arrow shot coming in for Shoutout, just not getting it right at that point in time on that angle. Nonetheless, Cornflakes carries the ball with good. That was some really good technique with the way he kept the ball in the air there. But in the end, it was good defending from Vinik. Now the ball's a dangerous spot there for Biltong. They need to get it out of their half at this point in time, as they've got about 2 minutes to go to maybe level things up here.
Phoenix, you can definitely see the change in mentality for him there. He's diving for these balls. I mean, he's just ready to go straight through, try and make something work. And, you know, he has no business being there. I mean, he really shouldn't be there. He should be back. But his team has the advantage. He has the ability, and he has that confidence now to just go for shots that he shouldn't be there. If something comes out, oh, great. Then that's fantastic. They get a better lead. If something goes wrong, he knows his teammates are there to bail him out and to, you know, really just, he's got his confidence in his teammate. And that's something nice to see of guys that really haven't actually played before.
It is very nice to see that type of team play from these guys that haven't really played much together. And nonetheless, a little bit of a difficult one there for Arson to defend, but did work in his favor to not make its way to the back of the goal. Now it looks like Vinik is pushing the ball towards the Droëwors side. We've got a minute left, and a goal for Biltong will definitely do the trick for them to maybe just ease the pressure. But it does look like Droëwors is coming in with a dangerous strike here as Toasty puts in another shot. Cornflakes with a great save, and Lazy now needs to work the ball upfield with Cornflakes. Is there someone back to clean it up? Oh, it is Lazy himself, works in the angle, and there's about 30 seconds left on the clock for Team Biltong to maybe pull this one back. But now the ball does get pushed up from the Droëwors side.
Oh, Lazy's got a breakaway here. Now he pushed it down to the long side. But again, the rotations are good enough. They're coming in. Toasty's back there, manages to get it out to the side. 16 seconds left. And, you know, if they'd managed to bring this down to a 1-goal lead, then I think they could have had a really good shot here. But they're just this Droëwors side has just got a new life to them, and they're playing so much better now. I really think that we could see this going all the way to, you know, Biltong not managing to pick up another game in this series.
I think Droëwors has definitely got the upper hand when it comes to momentum swing, because they do find themselves in a 3-2 lead at this point in time. This could be the final game coming up, or it could be some interesting times if Biltong do pull this one back and level things up at 3 apiece. But as we've mentioned, Droëwors were 2-0 down, and the way I think I see them play and analyze the way they play, I think there's not a team in South Africa that can actually put them off their game right now. These three guys together are very good. I mean, again, we look at where, you know, Shoutout has got the 2 goals. Toasty with, you know, he's a very good defensive player, but it's those breaks that really count. Those long balls you were talking about, Tourism, that really gets Vinik on the end of them. And Vinik is very good at rotating play, and that's all working well. Where I see now, Biltong are the guys overcommitting. You know, 2 guys going for the ball.
I have to ask you, we're now at halfway. We've now just reached 5 games. Who's your favorite player so far? Who do you think is playing out of his socks and deserves man of the match so far?
You know, I actually wanted to ask you the same question because
Gavi joining the game.
I think I might have
guys, in the chat, please, can we just get a good old Gavi? So
this is not the first time this has happened, but let me just quickly leave here and then rejoin. I'm sure that's a possibility.
Nope. Okay, we're going. So the guys have just jumped into the match now. They've got onto their teams, and because you have started the clock, so the guys are in. We have the game going there. Thanks, Gavi. But I must admit, I'm very excited to see this. Biltong's under a lot of pressure now because they have Lazy. Lazy has never lost the 6-mans before. We were chatting about it earlier. This guy has been a legend in the community, and you know, even with his comedic stars and everything, he just shows how much you can enjoy this game. He's got his jokes and everything like that, but he's also got an incredible amount of skill. We talked about him being in the winning side of the VS Gaming Championships last year, and you know, now he's on the losing side. His team went from 2-0 up to now 3-2 down. It's going to be interesting to see how many of these skills we're going to see him break out tonight.
Okay, well, it does seem like I've got pictures here again where I spectator view. I just managed to leave that one in time. Nonetheless, mistakes were made. Sorry, hashtag sorry, not sorry. Nonetheless, these guys are definitely putting the pace to the game as we speak. We can see that Cornflakes is making good work of the ball in the middle of the park. Now, Lazy hasn't changed his name in this game because I think maybe that is not what is quite important right now. They are under pressure, the Biltong side. They need to pull this one back. We were talking about a possible man of the match. I wanted to choose Lazy up until now, until the previous game. I did think he did stand out quite well. But I'm not too sure just yet. I mean, the way these guys play, it's been endless stuff. But I think if I'm going to have to choose someone from the Droëwors side, it might just go to Toasty. And yourself, Altruism.
I must admit, I'm enjoying how Noble's playing really, really well, but I'm also really enjoying Arson at this point. So, you know, I've got my man from each side set up there, Arson from the side of Biltong, and Noble, of course. Now, shout out to my friend Llama, to my boy Llama. Sorry, got to get it right. And now all we see, Lazy finally coming in, reading that backboard shot there. Just nice pass to the side there. Cornflakes trying up, and Toasty just intercepting a little bit, but Lazy doing the hard work at the end there, getting a nice twist in his scarab and getting Biltong back on the leaderboard. They want to be back in that first place.
Yeah, both Noble and Vinik did find themselves in a bit of no man's land as my man Luke, if I can put it that way, did make the best of that opportunity, working the angle, and that is exactly the type of play I know how he is, you know, capable of, and he did exactly that, so make good use of it. Now, Cornflakes just holding the ball up in the middle of the field, doing well. Arson, the man that could be chosen by Altruism as a man of the match, MVP as we know it. Both these sides are going at it with about 2 minutes to go in this fifth, or should I say sixth game. It is anyone's game at the moment, but Biltong are definitely in the driving seat up to now.
Yeah, they're looking dangerous. Yeah, getting there. A good couple of shots there. Some good defense coming out from the side of Droëwors. Ooh, close shot there. Thinik just running out of boosts just at the end there. Now, Noble's gone up, realized he doesn't have enough boost, and there's none there back from the side of Biltong. So double commit now. Toasty and Thinik both jumping up into the air, and Arsenal's going to want to try push home that advantage. Great shot to him. Then Noble goes up for it. Thinik nearly gets it to the side, but Pornflakes makes it there. Takes it to 2-0 for the side of Biltong.
Now, I don't want to talk before I should say something and jinx it all, but I do think that maybe Biltong were hanging back so that we can see the duration of all the games played. Nonetheless, they've got a 2-0 lead. They need to keep this lead to level things up, to take it into the final game. So far, Altruism, despite us thinking about a possible MVP, I think both the competition as a whole up to now has been phenomenal as Toasty's pushed this ball towards the side of Biltong. Biltong lazy coming in. Maybe just looking to wrap around here, lazy. And the ball is now in the middle of the park. Needs to get some direction as both looks like Droëwors players are attacking it. Not what you want to see at this point in time as they are 2-0 down with about a minute to go. They need to score now if they want to get back into this one.
Some nice reads coming out there. Oh, that's a devastating miss from Toasty. Somehow Thinik and Toasty managed to pinch it back into the center. Thinik now just looking to pick up some boost. Oh, a ball across there. Oh, no. Noble nearly making that happen, but just getting that upright. Just not managing to get at those last few millimeters. Now it jumps up, bounces out into the center. Noble and Toasty both going for it. Neither manages to make good enough connection on it, though. Noble pushes it back. Thinik takes the shot into the right-hand corner and sinks it. 29 seconds left on the clock, and they manage to take it down to a 1-goal lead.
Now, this is exactly the commentator's curse I'm talking about. Nonetheless, there's 30 seconds to go. I do think that the Droëwors side could possibly pull this one into a tiebreaker. Maybe we'll see these guys going to overtime. 25 seconds to go. Now, shout out with the ball in the middle of the park. Thinik pushes it again with that bad Vermeil and a strike. And it's exactly what we were talking about. It takes that one goal to bring you back into it. And there was about 25 seconds left plus. And they managed to score past the right side of Lazy, who did find himself in a very awkward position. 20 seconds to go. Who's it going to be?
Thinik there with just such a beautiful pass to get it across there. And so well read there at the end to put it in. And great placement as well, because, you know, they were all three in the net there. It would have been very easy to just slam it in. Now we see a bouncing shot, but Arsen does well enough to get it onto the roof. Pushes it up himself. Toasty puts it off the back wall, but it looks like it's probably just going to drop down now. We are going into overtime. Droëwors is 1 goal away from winning this tournament in the 650 Rand sponsored by their Link app.
If you've just joined us, you've missed quite a bit, but nonetheless, it is end-to-end stuff here. Thinik in the net of the Biltong side. Lazy needs to get across here, otherwise this could be dropped as the Toasty takes his side in winning the six-man's title in this great six-man's competition. He has got himself a very important goal coming very early in the overtime play. Droëwors, well done to them.
Droëwors are your champions for tonight. 6-man RLX Rocket League 6-mans. We've seen Droëwors, who was 2 games and 3 goals down, manages to just reverse sweep and go, you know what, we'll just take the next 4 in a row. This last game was incredibly close, though. I mean, they were 2-0 down with 29 seconds left on the clock. What an incredible comeback. Such a good play from both sides, and Droëwors just managing to come out and ahead there at the end.
I think if I can agree with Altruism, we did see Biltong go into a 2-0 lead where Droëwors had to win pretty much all their matches to bring it back, and they have done so indeed. A good play all round from all the guys on the Droëwors side. Again, it's going to be tricky to decide. Who do you think could be your man of the tournament, man of the match, as most people would call it, or your MVP, as most RLX guys would refer to as Michael?
I must admit, I was backing Noble from the beginning there, or from when we were chatting about it earlier. Then, but Toasty at the end, he won my heart in that last game. He played so well and had a couple of really nice technical air dribbles there at the end. That one was absolutely lovely. He trips it into the air and follows it, and manages to get not one extra touch, but also manages to get the dunk afterwards to finish it in overtime. That's what you want from Rocket League. I mean, yeah. I don't care about who's the higher ranks or anything like that, but when Rocket League makes me happy, then I'm blown away by it. And there, Toasty's goal, it made me happy. It was a great goal to finish off a really good night of Rocket League.
I must say, and I definitely agree with what Ultras has said. It did look like one-way traffic for Biltong's side, but all credit to Droëwors for probably what would have been or is the biggest comeback we have witnessed ourselves. Both Ultras and myself have done a few of these games before, but definitely want to go into the record books. And again, I am going to agree with what Ultra has said and agree that maybe man of the match should go to Toasty, the man that is good at all-round play. He's good on attack. He's good on rotational play. And an all-round player, I just think that is exactly the type of guy I want to give my MVP award to.
Right, so Toasty, well done, man. That was some really good Rocket League at the end. It's just,
thank you so much.
I have to ask, how did you guys manage to turn it around? I mean, what was going through your mind at the end when you're 2 games and 3 goals down?
Honestly, the morale was pretty low. I didn't think that we were going to be able to, we all felt pretty down about it. But I think that comeback that we had in game 3, I think it was, that pretty much just turned everything around. Like after that, we were feeling so confident, and we just wanted to, we just wanted to win it so bad, pretty much.
Well, winning ways it is for Toasty and his side. The Droëwors team, Vinik and Noble were alongside you. Tell me, how was the communication amongst you three when you found yourselves 2-0 down?
It was pretty quiet. Me and not Vinik, the other one.
Noble.
Noble. Me and Noble. Sorry, he changed his name a few times. Me and Noble were double committing quite a lot, so we felt like things. We needed to pick things up a little bit, and then Noble picked up his game a lot, and after that things started flowing pretty smoothly.
So you hear it, Noble, it was your fault. It was completely you. You needed to pick up your game, sir. That's what we basically got from
No.
No, I'm glad to hear that you guys managed to just settle down at the end there, just get those double commits out. And it takes a bit of time now. Have you played with any of either of your teammates previously to this match?
Noble, I've played a few games with before. We used to play a while back. But Phoenix is new to me. I've never played with him before, but he was a really good player.
I think it's very important to manage to gel together, and it was a lot of pressure on you guys to manage to pull back this victory very convincingly. RLX has probably never witnessed something this great, and neither have, I think, Ultrasm and myself. It was crazy to see how you guys pulled it back. And if I could just think, how would you sum up the whole tournament as a whole for you guys?
It was just very intense, pretty much the whole time. Like we were sweating and stressing, but it was a lot of fun. It was really a lot of fun.
I'm so glad that you guys enjoyed it. Then, I mean, anything you want to say to the guys watching, or to the other team that we were all chatting before it, and I'm pretty sure that you got a feeling for the guys on the other side and how they're feeling right now.
I'd never actually played any of them before, so I was kind of going in blind, and I was quite surprised. They were really, really good. Yeah, I mean, I just didn't expect such a like they played really well, and it was quite daunting in the beginning.
Yeah, I must say you sound a little bit surprised with what they've managed to pull off in the first two games. We did mention that Lazy and as well as Pornflakes, I'm going to give it to all of them. They're really good
Yeah,
guys. They're very good
exactly.
players. And now going forward, Toasty, what do you guys look forward to? Maybe as a team or as an individual of yourself, what do you look forward to in the Rocket League community?
Just playing in a lot more tournaments because there's so much fun. They're literally what make this game for me. I didn't actually know that all this stuff was possible, and especially on South African servers. So yeah, just put a lot of more participation, hopefully.
Thanks so much then for joining us here, Toasty, tonight. You guys are walking away with our prize. It is the 650 Rand brought to you by the Link app, available on your app stores now. With the Link app, you can play a crucial role in your community by reporting service delivery issues and safety-related incidents through your local ward and safety channels to get you guys the service that you want and that you deserve. Guys, go download it. It'll make your own lives and the lives of basically everyone in your community better, because you're getting the service that's going to help you. So guys, go check it out. They were the ones to make it possible for us here tonight. And a big shout out again to Inquisitor for doing our streaming and our camera work for us tonight.
Oh, yes.
And to the whole RLX staff for making these tournaments possible. Sorry. And Gavi G, my co-caster in crime. Wonderful games. Anything that you want to say at the end of this wonderful tournament?
Again, I just want to say well done to our MVP, Toasty. You really played well. I think it's good to see that, you know, guys coming from maybe ones bringing a good team effort into what possibly could have been a walkover from Biltong's side. Nonetheless, well done to you and your team. And congratulations on you being MVP.
Could I possibly give a short little...
Yeah, go for it, man. It's all yours. Take it away.
I gotta give a shout out to Dylan or Slayer for the support, and as well my brother Miles and Ryan Robbie, my cousin. They were with me through this whole experience. So it's just good to have them by my side.
Well, as you heard it from the man Toasty, thanking his #1 fans. Maybe they could be the action next time. Maybe we'll see some more of these comebacks. Please, if you've just seen all the action and witnessed the crazy comeback from Team Droëwors, again, as Altruism has thanked all the importance, please subscribe, do stay in touch, get more involved in the community, get to see what RLX has to offer you. It has been an honor from my side, a good honor to be with the Team RLX and to thank everyone that is involved and all the fun it comes with casting. My legendary brother Altruism from Durban. It has been a pleasure from my side. I think I'm just going to end it off by saying MVP Toasty, great win from the side Droëwors, and what a performance from both sides. Biltong with the early 2 victories. It has been awesome. It has been real, and good night from my side.
Guys, all the replay files will be available online afterwards for you guys to check it out, go back, watch the games again, share it around. Otherwise, we hope to see you in any future tournaments, whether it's watching or actually taking part. Guys, go check out that website, the RLX website, where you can keep up to date on all this action. Other than that, thank you so much for joining in, and we'll see you guys next time. Cheers.
Cheers.
Is it closed?
No idea.
Help me find the right words to say to get not so